Hey everybody. Um, I should probably type a welcome message in the chat. So yeah, just working on a new sketch, getting set up here. Starting a few minutes late. Sorry. I think I'll do this for maybe an hour and a half or so, maybe. Um, Working on this Jedi temple guard sketch. I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna use markers out of the way. So it'll kind of look like, actually, that Qui-Gon sketch there is kind of what I'm going for. Maybe a little more involved, but that's kind of the final technique I'll be doing. If you saw that Qui-Gon sketch just pop up in my thumbnail gallery there in the slideshow there in the corner. Oh, also, for those of you who've been hanging out with me this week, I finished this guy, the Phantom. So I had to hand draw that logo. But you can see it, how that turned out. Pretty happy with it. It's just a sketch cover. The inside's blank. So the collector that commissioned me is going to have me, or he's going to have other artists rather. He had me do the cover, and he's going to have other artists do sketches of the Phantom inside. So that's pretty cool. I mean, that was a fun sketch to do. I actually worked on the Phantom for a couple of years. I did covers for the Phantom comic book series, I think around 2008, 2009. Might have been a little later than that even. It was around that. It was, did I do any, it was kind of sporadic. It might have been more than 2 years. I did like 6 or 7 covers over the course, I don't know, maybe 3 years or so in there somewhere. But yeah, it was a while back. So it was fun to get to revisit this character. So I wasn't really a huge Phantom fan before, but I do like the pulpy action adventure, Indiana Jones, Rocketeer, The Shadow. I love those kind of characters. And the Phantom fits in that wheelhouse. So when I got to work on the Phantom, I jumped at the chance because even though I didn't know a lot about the character other than the movie and the comic strips. And I knew DC did a comic book series of him as well, so I was familiar with him, but I didn't really know a lot about his. I never really read the comic strips or the comic books. I just saw the movie, and then I got to work with the character for a handful of years and work on some covers, and so it's been a while. So I got to go back and play with this character again, which was fun. And now I'm back in my regular wheelhouse of Star Wars. So I'll be working on this for a little while tonight. This is a Jedi Temple Guard character, which I think they're first seen in Star Wars Rebels is where they show up for the first time. And then we find out that the Grand Inquisitor, who's the big villain in the show, the first season, used to be one of these elite Jedi Temple Guard characters. And they have the double, or the longer staff. I think it's double-bladed. And yeah, so it's a really fun costume, and it's a character we haven't really seen live action, but I based this drawing off some costume reference. And yeah, I guess we'll just get to it. I'm going to block them in first. Maybe with like a 20%. Let's see how dark that is. I might have to go to a 10%. Let me use these Prismacolors to... there we go. This is on warm tone paper. I'm gonna do some warm grays for this one. Let's see how this works out. I'll go in the dark area first. How dark is that? I might have to do a 10%. That's dark, but I need that dark. So let's go ahead and do those mid-value darks real quick. I'll come back and block in the other areas with oh hey, what's up? Hi Britt. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. It's pretty dead in here, so it's a Friday night. Everyone's got more fun things to do apparently than sit and watch me draw. But yeah, just gonna work on this because I have to get this done for a collector, and I've got a bunch of other sketches waiting on me. So I figure I might as well make a dent in this tonight. So yeah, thanks for coming by. Hope you are doing well. I'm sure more people will show up eventually, or maybe a few more, we'll see. Don't really have a schedule yet, and I'm gonna work on that so people can expect to catch me at certain days at certain hours. So one of the many things I need to work on for this. I know this is the most exciting place to be on a Friday night. Well, at least in a pandemic, right? I mean, Friday nights aren't what they used to be, that's for sure. Yeah, I'd probably be at a Comic-Con on a Friday night right now, just getting set up for Saturday or hanging out with friends and winding down at the end of the day. Who knows? But yeah, or playing video games with my friends on a Friday night, which is what I usually do. But I got just too much work piling up. I got to make a dent in. Cinnamon toast for dinner. Nice. You know, when I was a kid, I loved cinnamon toast. Like, total flashback just now. But yeah, I still do. I just don't eat it that often. So yeah, when I was little, one of my like favorite, I don't know if it's a treat really, but for breakfast, especially before school, my mom would she'd make me cinnamon toast. And yeah, wow, I haven't had that in forever, and I used to love that as a kid. So I'll be right over. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I totally down for cinnamon toast for dinner. Totally up my alley. Actually, this warm gray 20 is drying. The paper soaks it up really well. If this were a different paper, it'd probably be a little darker. So I'm gonna go ahead and just flat this thing with 20%. Since yeah, seems to be absorbing the ink, and it looks like I'm gonna have to go darker anyway in those shadow areas. So this is the exciting part where I just kind of like just flat it in, like, oh boy, this is fun, watch me. But the one good thing about this is if I flat it in this way with the pencils the way they are, the marker kind of seals the pencils into the paper. So when I go back to ink it, or if I go back to render it further, once I put one layer of marker on it and I flat it, it'll seal the pencils, so the pencils won't get smudged. So that's one of the benefits of doing it this way, because sometimes if I do inks first and then I go to do marker on top of the inks, it'll end up smudging the pencils if I do it that way. So at least this way it won't smudge. And I can kind of go outside the shape of the character too, because I'm going to have a halo of color around him. Yeah, this is. You're laughing. Um, yeah, this is a different color paper. The Phantom. Well, the Phantom I did on the sketch. Um, the Phantom I did on a sketch cover. So this is just a white blank sketch cover. I did do. Oh, the I have this one. So I have this drawing of my friend's dog, which is on a different color. You can see the difference here. So this is like a cool, like a blue-gray toned paper. So it's just cool tones, and then this one's warm tones. So yeah, it's different color. Yeah, it's a big difference. Since this character has some earth tones in his costume, the Jedi Temple Guard, I wanted to change it up and do it on. I wanted to do this sketch on some warm tone paper, just so I can kind of stay true to the earth tones a little bit in a way. I mean, I'm not doing this full color. It's I'm doing it in grays. This is a warm gray, 20% Prismacolor. So I need to put these markers on my Amazon supplies list, so if anyone wants to use them. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. So these have a brush tip too, I think, right? Oh no, these are just regular nibs. I have some brush tip ones. Oh, I like this one here. No, where's my brush tip markers? I thought I had some out. Oh, there we go. So they're not. They're like the Copics. They're similar, flexible, like a watercolor brush tip, but not quite. The ink's not quite as translucent. The Copic ink is a little more like watercolor, and you can layer it really well. The colors blend really nicely with the Copic inks. The Prismacolors, not quite as much really, but I like using them to block in flat colors. That way it saves ink on my Copics. And because the Copics are more expensive since they're nicer markers and they use nicer ink. And the Prismacolors are kind of a little more disposable. They're not refillable like the Copics either. That's another great thing about the Copics is you can refill them if you just buy more ink. So these I can just block in and they can be disposable. They're a little cheaper too, but thank you. I sneezed, I know. Sorry, I didn't mean to sneeze on camera. Thank you. I don't know why my nose is all ticklish. I got some more people in here. Thanks for stopping by. Working on this sketch tonight. Just blocking in the flat tones right now before I start to layer it. This will have a lot of layering. Well, I don't know if a lot. It'll have. We'll see. I'll try to make it as detailed as possible with my technique. So it's definitely got a few more layers to go. This is just the base layer, my lightest layer. I'll go back and push. I'll allow some of the background color to bleed through too, but this marker dries pretty. This paper soaks it up pretty well, so just want to get a base tone down and kind of build it from there. I'm priming my illustration here. So if you have any questions while I'm working on this sketch. Feel free to ask them in the chat, especially if you're new. I don't have a regular schedule yet, but here I am a year later on almost a year later on Twitch, and I still don't have a schedule. I think I did like how many videos I do last year? Like maybe 8 or 9 videos, I think, which isn't really a lot, but I mean, some of my streams would run for 3 hours or more sometimes, but yeah, I did a handful of commissions last year on Twitch. I'm going to try to do a lot more this year, especially since they're starting to get backed up a bit. So, plus I have my regular projects that I work on, which I can't always stream all of those because of NDAs and stuff. But so if I'm not streaming and I'm working on art, that's why. Because I'm like right now, I've got a Iron Man painting for Marvel that I'm developing. Can't really show that right now. I might have some new Star Wars art for Lucasfilm coming up soon. I am going to be doing some sketch cards, some new sketch cards for The Mandalorian, which is another project. I don't know if I don't think I can really stream those as I work on them. I might be able to. I mean, it's for season 2, which is already aired, and they're just sketch cards, so it's not like a huge deal or anything. It's just whatever, sketch cards. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll try working on some on stream, because I have those coming up next month here in February. I think I'm doing 35 sketch cards, so I'm excited to draw, like Ahsoka and Rosario Dawson version of the character, and Boba Fett. Get Tamir Morrison in there a few times for sure. It'll be fun drawing some of the new characters from the TV show. And it'll be a similar technique to what I've been doing my last few sketches. It's kind of the same technique, more or less, that I do for my sketch cards. I'll use pen and ink and gray markers and color pencil and all that jazz. So that way I just turn my brain off and I don't have to think about full color. And normally I charge more for full color anyway when I do my sketches or commissions. So this way I can just kind of turn my brain off as I'm rendering, and they go a lot faster, especially when I'm doing that many sketches in a row. And they have to look a certain quality by my standards anyway. So, hey Kevin, what's up? Yeah, I signed up, so I'm doing 35. Just like you, I did 35 last time for season 1. The season 1 cards. I think, did I do 34 or 35? I can't remember. Might have been 35, but yeah. So I ended up with 4 APs. Actually, I still have. I have to send these out, but here's a couple of my APs from the last Mando set. Cara Dune and Trapper Wolf, the D-Man, the DF Man, Dave Filoni. There's the back of the cards. You can see those too. So these are what the sketch cards are like. For those of you unfamiliar, you can see some in the gallery in the slideshow, right where I'm pointing right over here. There's another sketch card of Boba Fett. I actually did that one, God, probably 4 or 5 years ago, before, well, it's 2016. Yeah, so maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. Yep. There's some Rebel sketch cards. I did that Boba Fett. I mean, obviously, we all know he probably looked like Tim. He's a clone, so he's going to look like Jango Fett, Tim Morrison. But so anyway, I did that Boba Fett sketch card back then. So it's cool to see it finally. Not that I didn't predict anything, obviously, because we're all fans. We know how it plays out. But just to see that fully realized in live action on The Mandalorian, to see Tamir Morrison in the Boba Fett armor was so cool. But yeah, I'll do my season 2 sketches, and this is the similar style here. Yep, that's Dave. His wife, his wife Anne actually bought that card, so this one's this one's actually going to Dave's house. So that's pretty cool. Um, so yeah, she was awesome enough to pick that one up from me. So I really appreciate that. I wonder if he'll be in Rangers of the New Republic. I hope so. I mean, I I know he's not an actor. Dave isn't an actor, but it just his cameos have been fun, and I know he needs to be behind the camera, writing and directing and producing. That's where we want him. But if he ends up becoming a recurring character on that show, that'll be pretty fun. I have no idea, so I mean, I don't ask them about that stuff. So I'm kind of in the dark until Lucasfilm fills me in on things. So if depending on what the project is. All right, I almost got this flat in. I just got to do the lower half. Yeah, it's cool that he. Um, it's not often you get your own a trading card of yourself, right? And it's cool that he was in it. I know he was kind of reluctant. He kind of got pressured by Favreau to gear up and jump in the cockpit because all the other directors were doing cameos. So why not Dave? You know, I think it's fun that Favreau kind of pressured him to do a cameo, and Dave went along with it, and now he's been in the show a few times, and yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm sure we'll see him again. I mean, it's just funny to have and I like the other Paul Lee is the other X-wing pilot, the one that talks to Cara Dune when he tries to recruit her for the New Republic. He's the older Asian. Well, I don't say older. He's not. I mean, he's like my age, whatever. But like, I think he might be a couple years older. But he's the Asian guy with the beard. That's Paul Lee. He's super cool. He's on this show called Kim's Convenience. I don't know if you guys watch it, but it is really good. It's on Netflix, and he is so funny. And that's where Dave and Ann were fans of his from Kim's Convenience, which is it's a Canadian sitcom, but it has so much heart. Like it's just got it's really funny, but it has a lot of heart. And Paul is the main character. He obviously it's Kim's Convenience. He owns a convenience store, and the guy that plays his son, is it Sumi Lee or Sumi Lee? I can't remember his name, but he's going to be Shang-Chi in the new Shang-Chi movie from Marvel. So that's another good reason to watch the show because he's in it, and you can kind of get a preview of that guy. But he's really funny and really talented, and he plays the son in the show. But yeah, Paul's really cool. We've messaged back and forth a little bit on Instagram, so he's a super nice guy. And he's a huge Star Wars fan. He's actually, the funny thing is, he's an actor, and he's been in other stuff, but he's in the 501st Legion in Canada, and he has all these 501st costumes. So he was already a huge Star Wars fan, and he was an actor. So when then Dave, I guess, became friends with Dave Filoni, and Anne became friends with him, Dave offered him a part on the show, and he couldn't believe it. He's hardcore Star Wars fan. Like Paul is like the real deal. So he's getting to live out his Star Wars fantasy as an X-wing pilot on The Mandalorian, which is crazy. And I'm hoping they put Paul in the TV show, because that would be in the new one, the New Republic show that they're doing with the X-wing pilot. So hopefully he'll be in that too. So we'll see. Yeah, his skill. He's a really good actor. I guess so. I guess Britt, you've probably seen Kim's Convenience then, or maybe just you've probably seen him on Mandalorian. Yeah, because he's really good as that character on the Mandalorian. He's really sincere. He's a really sincere actor. Um, he he goes by Angry Appa or Angry Appa on Instagram. That's where he hangs out most. And his character is referred to as Appa on Kim's Convenience. That's the Korean name for dad or father. So his daughter calls him Appa all the time on the show. So his Instagram handle is Angry Appa, and he's kind of a grumpy. He's like a big teddy bear in the show, but he's also like a grumpy, a grumpy old Korean guy. Um, so totally different than how he is. Well, not that much different. He's a little grumpy on Mandalorian when he's dealing with Mando, but he's much more grumpier on Kim's Convenience. But he's really funny. He's a really great actor. You got to watch it. That show cracks me up. I think there's only 4 seasons so far, and the 5th season just aired in Canada a couple weeks ago. So it's the 5th season comes to Netflix on in March something. It airs on Netflix. So yeah, it's a pretty funny show. Yeah, they've used some other 501st members in the show. That's right, Kevin. Some of my buddies out in the Southern California garrison, um, they've used as stormtroopers. And I like my friends like Mark Edwards and Michael Bender. Uh, they've been in the show as stormtroopers, and they're really cool guys. I've known for a while. Mark's a really amazing photographer, actually, as well. So I've worked with him on some of my Star Wars projects. So this is all flatted in. Now I gotta start pushing the values. Let's look at. Let's see what we can do here. Let's look at this one. I'll use this Copic one. Oh yeah, this one's already dried up. I'm gonna fill that one. You'll find I'll go through here, and a lot of my Copics will already be like on their way out. I'm like, crap, I need to buy a refill. That happens occasionally. So yeah, it's cool. Like the 501st have been like a resource for Filoni and Favreau on Mandalorian because Dave's friends with a lot of these people from Star Wars Celebration and having worked on Clone Wars for all these years, and so they've had to reach out to 501st members not just to play stormtroopers, but for other characters and like other costumes and like. I mean, there's probably a lot I can't really go into, but just I mean, some of it we do know, like Chris Bartlett, he plays Zero, the bounty hunter droid on there, and he's a 501st guy, but he works at Lucasfilm and does 3PO for Lucasfilm for events and things, not for the movies, but however, Chris has played a lot of the droids on Mandalorian, so and a few other characters as well, alien characters. So he's a really good droid and creature performer. He's from the 501st. And some of my friends have helped out putting together like Death Trooper costumes for Lucasfilm. I won't go into the details, but yeah, they needed some help scavenging pieces and putting costumes back together since they hadn't been used since Rogue One, and they had to look at some 501st friends of mine for some assistance on how these costumes ended up going back together since they were pretty complex. So stuff like that. I mean, it's cool that Star Wars fans who are costume makers and prop builders, they've been involved in the show to a certain extent. So that's always fun. Yeah, life goes to be 501st approved for anything. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have I'm 501st, but I'm an honorary member, so they inducted me back in 2007 at Celebration Los Angeles, and um, that was awesome. I mean, that was a real honor. I've been lucky enough to be an honorary member for a lot of these because I have friends in all these groups over the years. Since I first met the 501st in 2001 at San Diego Comic Con, and they had only been around for a few years at that point. And I became good friends um, with some of them, and over the years, my friends Kim and Chris Knight were the first two stormtroopers I had met from the 501st in person at Comic Con in San Diego, and I ended up taking photo references of them and putting them in my Star Wars art later for Lucasfilm. And yeah, it was just crazy how it all works out. And then years later, um, I'm at this huge celebration event, the 501st mixer, and there's thousands of people there, and I get inducted on stage, and it felt like the Oscars or something, but I was not even aware it was going to happen. It was so crazy. But all these Star Wars celebrities were there, and they applauded for me and cheered for me. It was to see like David Prowse and Anthony Daniels and Kenny Baker and Jeremy Bullock and Peter Mayhew was there, and all these people. Like, I'm looking out in the crowd, and I'm like, holy crap! Like, most of these people at the time, not most, but some of them didn't know who I was. So to have some of your Star Wars heroes, I've gotten to know a lot of them much better over the years since then, but um, have some of your Star Wars heroes just, you know, in the audience as you receive some really crazy award was like, that was, I remember looking out thinking like, God, like you wouldn't be able to tell like 4-year-old me that this was real. So it's a weird life sometimes as a Star Wars artist, but I've been very grateful and for it. And I've had a lot of fun with it. Flex, whatever. I'm not flexing. I'm just sharing anecdotes. I'm just yeah. I talk about myself too much, but whatever. It's my own stream, so I got to entertain people, I guess somehow, right? Flex. That's funny. Oh yeah, Richard Brake. He was an Imperial officer. Yeah, that's right. He's in. I've been digging his work. He's been. Oh God, what he was in the last or Three from Hell movie, the Devil's Reject sequel, and he was in um, the other Rob Zombie movie, The Witches of Salem. I think that's what it was called. He's been in a lot of like gritty horror and action stuff, and I was surprised to see him in Mandalorian. I thought that was really cool. He's a really good actor, and I think he brought the right level of kind of like sinister. Like, you just wanted him to get shot. It's so great that Bill Burr, just that whole scene, and then you have the Scarif trooper or the beach trooper with the cafeteria tray, just like, what the hell's going on? And then he just gets blown away just for eating lunch in the commissary. Yeah, that was great. Oh yeah, you met him. Okay. Oh, 31. That's right. He was in that. That's right. Yeah, drop those names. I know. I won't. I'll refrain from dropping anymore. Um, yeah, you met him last year. He's very thin. He looks like he's thin. Yeah, I mean, I just got a few months ago. I bought, or was it over? It was just before Christmas. I got Three from Hell, so I wanted to watch it. So I got the Blu-ray, and I really liked the first two movies, and it was nice to see a follow up from Rob Zombie with those characters. And yeah, he was really good in that. Now I'm just kind of punching in some shadows with this. I don't really have to go too dark because the paper already has the tone in it, so it's like, This is only a 20% Copic. This isn't a brush marker, though. This is just I guess they call them Copic 2s, I think is what they're called. It's a warm gray 20%. That's what the W2 is. It's 20% warm. Um, so yeah. Yeah, it's cool you met him, Kevin. Oh yeah, Bill Moseley. Okay, you've known Bill Moseley for a couple years now, and he was at the same con and introduced you to Mr. Break. That's cool. So yeah, Kevin, you and I are big horror guys. Like we know our horror actors and horror films. Yeah, I love Bill Moseley, man. He's so cool. I've never met him in person, unfortunately, but I am friends with him on Facebook, and so I follow him there a lot. And I'll comment on his posts on occasion, and he's just. I've been a fan of his work. I mean, since what Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, I think was his first big break. Um, so yeah, he's crazy in that movie, and then he's just kind of shown up. I was rewatching the remake, the Blob remake from the '80s with I think Kevin Dillon is the main character in that, and I didn't. I'm watching it, and then Bill Moseley shows up as one of the one of the FBI guys in the hazmat in the sewer, and I was like, "What the hell? Like this guy's in everything." So I didn't realize how many horror movies he really had been in. I mean, I do know now, but like every now and again, there's one that pops up, and I'm just like, "Oh, there he is again." But yeah, he's a really cool guy. I love his personality online, and just seeing him in interviews, and his acting is great. He's always a really great villain. Yeah, I've seen Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon. That's the Adam Green movie, right? Um, God, I saw that a while ago. I know I saw it once. I don't know if I've seen it since then though. But yeah, that was a pretty fun horror film. Put some cast shadows on those fingers, just to kind of drop them back. A little bit of a drop shadow on the bottom of that thumb. Looks like this whole thing is really dark. I'll have to go back and darken up some of these shadows further. This is really still. I think I'm in the low to medium value range right now. I haven't quite hit my full medium value range. Again, I'm just blocking in some shadows and darks here and there. Yeah, yeah. Robert Englund and Kane Hodder's in it. Yeah, that one. It's got a lot of those classic horror actors in it. I've met Kane Hodder a few times, and back in was it 2005 at Motor City Comic Con in Detroit, I got to hang out with Kane. Um, we were in the green room at the convention. So when you're a celebrity or you're a comic book guest, like I was a comic artist, the celebrities and the artists and the talent at the convention, they all kind of end up in the same spot. And um, so I'm not like a movie celebrity or anything like that, but I got to hang out in the green room and was eating my lunch real quick and taking a break from my booth, and Kane came in and sat down with me. We were like the only two dudes in there, and we just I started asking. I don't know. He's just super friendly, and we were eating and we were talking about Friday the 13th movies, and then we at the time he was the stunt coordinator on Rob Zombie's The Devil's Rejects. It hadn't come out yet. It had been filmed earlier that year. So he had just come off that movie, and I was really excited to see that one. So I remember just not really interviewing him, but we just had like a really long chat, and it was really cool. I don't know, we talked for like a half hour or something about while we were snacking on, I think it was chili or something, and I got to, talk to Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, which was pretty cool, right? So just me and him chilling, eating lunch. Super nice guy. So he may look scary and intimidating, and he does look intimidating, but he's a really nice dude. And I did meet Robert Englund once, and it's a hilarious, really funny story. Yeah, I'll have to tell you that sometime. So anyway, you're friends with the actor who played Leslie Vernon, and you had the promoter invite Nathan Basil to that last con. Oh, okay. I don't know who Nathan Basil is, but is he the act? Wait. Oh, so was he the actor that played Leslie Vernon? Okay. Or no, wait. Kane Hodder played Leslie Vernon, didn't he? I can't remember. Yeah, I don't know who Nathan Basil is, but I think Kane was Leslie Vernon in that movie. Yeah, Kane is hilarious. He's a funny guy. Yeah, Robert Englund was funny. I met him at San Diego Comic Con one year, very briefly, but it was it was a story to remember. So good times at Comic Con. Okay. So Nathan Basil played Leslie Vernon. I thought, what did Kane play in Behind the Mask? I can't remember. I guess it was probably just a cameo. It might have been just like one of my. Didn't he play a killer in one of Adam Green's other movies? Oh, Hatchet. That's what it was. Didn't I think Kane Hodder played um, the killer in Hatchet, which is so maybe Leslie Vernon isn't Adam Green, and I'm just mixing up the two movies. I think that's what I'm doing. I don't know if Adam Green made Leslie Vernon, but anyway, yeah, I haven't seen those movies in a while, so yeah, Kane just did a funny cameo. Okay, yeah, I usually watch a lot of horror movies late at night while I'm up working on artwork. Um, I'm always looking for new fun, scary movies to watch. So let's get in there. I'm trying to see how dark I want to do some of this. There's a little bit of a drop shadow in there. Oh yeah, that's right. Scott Green plays Herschel, right? He's in from The Walking Dead. Yeah, he's in the movie too. Yeah, Kane did a cameo in Behind the Mask. He was watering his bushes or something in front of. That's right. Okay. Yeah, that sounds right. I know they were talking about doing like a um an Expendables of horror, like kind of like having all the classic horror actors with like Bruce Campbell leading like Robert Englund and Kane Hodder. Um, oh God, who else? There were some other ones. They were talking about doing like a horror movie, but like the Expendables, but all these horror icons. And oh my God, that'd be so cool. I'd be so down for that. That'd be hilarious to watch that. I don't think it's gonna happen, but at this point, I know years back they were talking about it. So, oh, they did make it. Is Bruce Campbell in it though? I thought it. I know they did something with like Robert Englund and Kane Hodder, and maybe a couple other actors. Yes, Death House. That's it. They did make. Yeah, okay. I guess they did do it. I think you're right. I think it's Death House. That's right. I don't think Bruce is in it though, or if he is, it's just maybe a cameo. But right, that's right. I did watch some of that too. I just didn't think that was the same movie they were talking about making, but um, it was okay. I was kind of like underwhelmed by what I saw, but I never did get to finish it. Can't remember who the other actors were. I'd have to look that up, but yeah, I can do that later. Oh yeah, there's the link. Thank you. Yeah, I'm lazy. It's like I don't want to go on. It's like I want to keep coloring, so I don't want to search it. Um, yeah. Oh, Gunnar Hansen. Okay. Oh, he did the story. They gave him. He had passed away. That's Leatherface. So they probably gave him story credit, even though Tony Todd is the other guy that wasn't. That's right. That's who I was thinking of. Bill Moseley. Right. All right. Uh, um, there's Sid Haig. Right. Yeah. Oh, I guess Gunnar Hansen was in it. When did this movie come out? Because he passed away. I didn't realize he was in it. 2018. He passed away before then, though. Um, or maybe he didn't. Maybe he passed away right after then. Okay. Oh no, it said he died in 2015, right? Yeah, that's what it's IMDb says. So he died in 20. So how is he in a movie in 2018? They must have used like archived footage or something because I see he's in the credit. Okay, I guess this is it. There's Barbara Crampton, yeah, from the Stuart Gordon movies, From Beyond and Reanimator, which is awesome. She's in it. Michael Berryman's in it. Okay, Dee Wallace. Yep, I remember her. So I watched some of this movie, and it just, I don't know. Adrian Barbeau's of narrator. Okay, yeah, just I remember watching it like a year or so ago, and I just never got around to finishing it. I think I watched like the first 20 minutes of it. It seemed pretty cheesy, but I guess this is the movie, The Expendables of horror, right? Okay. I'll have to go back to it. It wasn't what I was thinking. Like with Bruce Campbell, what he described, but yeah, that's cool. That's cool that they actually did pull it off to some degree, and they got a lot of horror icons in there. There's definitely a lot of them in there. I met Dee Wallace a few times over the years at shows. She's always sweet. She's really nice. It's cool to, E.T., Elliot's mom from E.T., and of course Cujo and The Howling, and it's cool to see her in person at shows. Maybe we'll get conventions again someday. I was just talking about that today with a friend of mine on a Zoom call, and he tends to think conventions are, it's going to be they're going to come back, but they're not going to be like what they used to be, at least not for a long time, because by the time we get through COVID, it could be a whole other year of, a very slow, deliberate rollout of Comic Cons, and, audience attendance could be really low. And I mean, I tend to agree to an extent, because people are still going to be nervous and worried, and it's going to take a few years for shows to be what they used to be. But the other side of that is, I mean, I think people are going to want to gather and get together and go to concerts and Comic Cons and plays. And I mean, people need to be around other people, and Comic Cons might be, attendance might not be what it used to be, at least for a little while at first, but I think it'll get there. I think within a year or so, I think shows will be running back up to their full potential again. So, as long as, I wish people would just social distance and wear their masks, because if everyone in the country did that, everyone, in 4 weeks we would have this pandemic contained if everyone wore a mask. Unfortunately, there's a lot of knuckleheads out there that don't wear masks or, yeah, so, but just think about that. If everyone wore their masks in 4 weeks, this would all be over, and then we could start heading back to normal reality again. So, if you're watching this Twitch stream or if you're watching this later on YouTube, wear your masks because we miss the world. And the sooner you wear it, the more often you wear it, the quicker we can get back to having nice things again. So you have a few shows this year, but you're not planning serious. What shows are you doing, Kevin? I don't even know of any this year that are scheduled. You're not planning seriously until maybe late summer. Yeah, I mean, I think the shows that if they even happen, I mean, it's going to be late summer or fall if we're lucky. I mean, but yeah, I don't know, what shows are you doing? Because I haven't heard of any that have the normal ones I do. I haven't heard of them being planned yet. Yeah, that's Grand Rapids. That's in the fall though. Like that's November. I thought there might be some shows before the fall or late summer that you were maybe referring to. Yeah, I should be at Grand Rapids as well in November, unless they move it up. I mean, I don't know if they moved it up. I haven't seen anything, but coloring off camera. Sorry, just getting this little lightsaber belt strap thing way off on his hip over here. Okay, so Grand Rapids is planning another smaller one at the end of April, but you're not sure about that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if anything's going to happen before June. I mean, the way Biden and the government's been indicating, it could be by the end, by June or late June by the time everyone has access to the vaccine. So it's pretty far away, unfortunately, but yeah, just got to hang in there in the meantime, right? Oh, sorry. All right. Getting most of the shadows blocked in. Just trying to figure out how far I want to push some of this. Still need to go darker in some areas, and definitely have to go back in and put all the highlights at some point. So. That's getting there. Let's see. So the only ones you're planning, okay, you're going to be at a cool horror con in Illinois on Labor Day weekend with Nathaniel Bessel. Okay, cool. That was postponed until this year. So Labor Day, okay. The only other ones we're planning are just small. We're just ones that were rescheduled to this year, so no new shows. Okay, yeah. I mean, most of mine have been rescheduled, all of them. So, I don't know. I mean, I know they were talking about Motor City, that was rescheduled for May. I honestly, yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. I guess we'll see. Um, I don't know what my first show really could be. I mean, after June, there's Comic Con in July, but I bet that's gonna not happen because I mean we're not gonna have enough information by June, and that show requires so much planning, pre-planning, and booking, and yeah, I doubt. Like, I mean, they could pull it off if you know if everything's stable by June, but I mean, until we get solid answers, I just don't see that show happening either. And that's a big one. And then New York Comic Con is scheduled for the fall. And I could see that one possibly still happening. I hope it does. Um, because I love New York and I miss New York and I want to get back there. And I want to be there. Um, yeah, it's so hard to plan stuff. Midwest Monster Fest. Is it loading? There it is. So that's September. Oh, okay, September. Yeah, that's far enough out. I could see that one happening. Um, Nathan Basil, Clint Howard. Wow. Okay. Um, yeah, it looks like a big horror show. Yeah, cool. That one's in East Moline, Illinois. I haven't heard of that one. I'll have to check that one out. Yeah, I hear you, man. It's hard to plan stuff. Yeah, I'll keep going on this for a little while longer. We'll see how far I get tonight, and then we'll come back on. I should be able to finish this one up. I I think on my next Twitch stream, once if I can get this one all blocked in with the marker and the shadows and the mid values, I think I might be able to knock this out quick on my next stream. I think we'll see. Oh, it's on the border of Iowa. Okay, so that's like West Illinois. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, for me, that's like what is that? Maybe a 5 hour drive from here. It takes me, when I drive out to Wizard World, Chicago, that's over at the Rosemont. That's where the airport is. So that's like 4.5 hours. And that's pretty far northwest of Illinois. So I imagine Moline is about that, maybe a little further. Guessing maybe it might be 5 hours from me. Yeah, usually when I drive to shows, if it's more than 4 to 5 hours, it's like okay, like it almost like that's when I'm like I'd rather fly than drive to a show. But granted, I'll still drive sometimes. I try not to book shows that are too far away for driving. Um, but sometimes I will. It just depends on the event. Um, usually if it's more than 6 hours, it's like yeah, I'm just gonna jump on a plane and I'll fly there. But actually, this year or last year, I had planned because I had gotten my new truck, a new SUV, and I was planning on driving to a lot more shows because I had a newer vehicle. So then, of course, COVID happened and everything got canceled. But I was going to drive down to Florida for a couple of different shows, MegaCon and Super Florida Con, and then they got canceled. And I was going to go. Where else was I was going to do a couple other shows I was going to drive to that I normally haven't that I don't normally drive to. So it just worked out in my schedule. I could make it happen with my project schedule, and then of course COVID, and then it's like, well, what's the point of that then? I guess I'm not driving anywhere. So I imagine I probably would drive to Moline if I had to. If it ends up being a good show, you'll have to you'll have to let me know, Kevin, if that's a really good show. If I should consider it sometime. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it's nice having someone. Yeah, it kind of sucks, right? When you're driving. I mean, I've driven to Florida a number of times, but yeah, it's not always easy, is it? Especially if you have a bad neck or a bad back. So it's an awesome show. You went to the first one. It'll be 2 years ago. This when the next one happens. Okay, it's also an independent movie show. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I love those kind of cons, especially that focus on independent films and independent horror films. I have a few friends that are in that industry that that work on independent horror films. So that's cool. That'd be a good show to check out then sometime. Oh wow, it did so well they added a day. It was only a 2 day con before. Sweet. That's even better. Yeah, good word of mouth then. I'll be on the lookout to hear more about that one. If I don't book it this year, I mean, I guess I could look into it. If it's going to happen, if COVID and everything is kind of settled down by then. Um, yeah, definitely. I will definitely consider that one. I'll have to get in touch with the promoter and see if I can make it work. If they're willing to have me. I mean, I don't have a lot of horror art. I mean, I have worked on, you know, I worked on True Blood for 3 years. I did tons of True Blood comics, and I worked on Spike versus Dracula and Angel. And I mean, I've done lots. Actually, I've done a lot of horror stuff, Walking Dead stuff. Um, some other paintings. I just did one for Halloween, which will come out in for the Printed in Blood book. I did The Thing. I've done artwork for Stranger Things, Pan's Labyrinth, stuff like that. I mean, I guess it's interesting because most of my career has been Star Wars with mixed in with Star Trek and other various comic book stuff, and then mixed in with that sporadically is all these random horror projects I forgot that I've been involved in. But I mean, yeah, I'm mostly known for Star Wars, but and some Star Trek, but horror is where my heart is too. So yeah, I could definitely bring some horror artwork. Though the majority of what I have is mostly Star Wars and Star Trek, but that's and decent amount of horror stuff. So I don't think I've ever done a horror con before. I mean, I've been to them, but I don't think I've ever exhibited at one before. The first year they had three of the actors from Texas Chainsaw. Oh, that's cool. Wow, awesome. Yeah, so like my fourth favorite horror film ever, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, it's classic. I love that one. It's in my top five. Um, yeah, Farscape would be awesome. I know they keep talking about it, bringing it back in some form. I love Farscape. One of the greatest TV shows ever. So good. Yeah, that was fun to work on those. I worked on the comic books for Farscape for about 3 years, actually, from like 2008 to 2011. I got to work on a lot of Farscape comics. I think I did like 30, 33 or 34 covers, and um, yeah, and then I worked on last year. I did the artwork for the 20th anniversary, or I guess it was 2 years ago technically, the 20th anniversary soundtrack. I did the cover artwork for the album. So that was a really good, like a really big honor. Like I was blown away. They asked me to do that. Um, so yeah, I'm a huge Farscape fan. Plus, I got to work with Henson Studios on the comics and on the soundtrack album, and I got to design and do all the artwork for that. So that was really fun. Yeah, I haven't been watching the Orville. I've heard really great things about it, and Seth MacFarlane's really funny. But yeah, I haven't watched the Orville. I've seen bits of it on in passing, just little bits here and there, but haven't watched a full episode yet. And I know I feel like everyone says it's the best Star Trek show on television. It's like, oh yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people. Yeah, Gigi Edgley, yeah, she streams on here. Oh, she was actually on right before I came on tonight. That's funny. Yeah, I met Gigi probably back in 20. When was that? So 2013, maybe around then. I met her at a small show in Michigan. She was one of the main guests there, and they had me there as one of the main comic book guests. And um, she was familiar with my artwork, and so we hit it off really well. And uh, we've gotten to chat here and there over the years since. But um, yeah, she's super cool. I love Gigi. She's awesome. I think she actually interviewed me for her at that show. I remember doing an interview for her about the Farscape comics. Um, so that was kind of fun. I think it was like for her podcast or something, or YouTube channel. That was back in 2013. So yeah, Gigi's awesome. I've gotten to meet some of the Farscape actors over the years. Virginia Hay, um, Lonnie Tupu, he was awesome. I got to hang out with him at a show. Uh, he was so super cool. Lonnie was awesome. Um, Virginia, I got to know through my friend Justin because he used to run her website and her web store back in the day. So yeah, Virginia actually kissed me in an elevator once. Zan, right? Just totally blew me away. She's just like she's that perfect. Like she kissed me like a pleasant like goodbye kiss, but I wasn't expecting it. We were just sharing an elevator together, and we were hanging out at a show, and it was just like out of nowhere, like boom, right on the lips, and be like, okay, I'll see you later. And I was just like, what just happened? I got kissed by Zan. Um, that was crazy. I'll never forget that. But she's awesome. That's just who Virginia is. Virginia Hay is like just she's so zen, like she does not, she has no pretense about her at all. She's a sweetheart too. Um, who else have I met? I guess that's probably been it from Farscape. I think I got to hang out with Lonnie. Virginia Hay kissed me once. Gigi's awesome. I got to hang out with her to show and chat with her. So yeah, as a Farscape fan, those were fun days. Those were fun times. Yeah, Gigi. Yeah, I know, right? That's a good story. Yeah, I did not. Me and my friend Justin were just hanging out with her to show, and we rode the elevator with her, and she said goodbye. She kissed him too, so it was like she just kissed both of us and just like said goodbye, and it was just like I did not expect her to be so friendly. But hey, it's Virginia Hay. It's Zan. She was the warrior woman in the Road Warrior movie. I mean, she's a legend. So I'm not gonna tell her no, thank you, because she's a very nice lady. Yeah, Gigi is yeah, she's into the same geeky stuff, right? Yeah, she's really cool. Let's get in there. Probably, I could go another 5 or 10 minutes before I jump off, but just wanted to get a little dent on this one. It's kind of getting there. I still need to push some values, but try to keep this one a little more. I'll probably do the final technique in a dark pencil. I don't know if I'll ink it, but I might do like a really dark brown pencil maybe, or black pencil and then color pencil, and then I'll go in with the highlights. Yeah, I gotta eat dinner soon. It's a late dinner. I've hardly eaten today, so that's probably. I know it's only how long have I been on? It's a little over an hour. Yeah, I planned for a short stream tonight. Um, so I'm probably gonna eat some dinner here around 10:30 because all I've had today was like Chex Mix, and it's like I don't want to pass out on on camera. That would not be pleasant, right? Oh yeah, after they canceled Farscape. Yeah, I was really mad at Sci-Fi too. It wasn't really their fault. It was the German investors. So Farscape was a very expensive show to produce, and Henson co-produced it with these German investors. Um, I forget the name of the company, but that was their main. They couldn't do it without him because it was something like $1 million an episode to produce Farscape. It was ridiculous. Like some of the episodes were just really expensive. So then once the same investors were producing Stargate SG-1 at the time, and the overhead on that show was so much more or less, right? So they didn't see as big of a return on Farscape because it was still kind of a cult show. Like it was big. It became. I think it got more of a cult base after right after it went off the air. But the German investors pulled out and decided, hey, we're just going to pump all this money into Stargate SG-1, and that's why you ended up getting Ben Browder and Claudia Black from Farscape onto Stargate after Farscape was canceled. It wasn't really Sci-Fi Channel's fault. Their hands were tied, but yeah, I was the fact that they just went all in on Stargate, which I wasn't a huge fan of that TV show. Farscape was so much better. Stargate was not even in the same ballpark as far as I was concerned. But um, yeah, so I know I didn't boycott sci-fi, but it didn't matter because I mean they're kind of like they don't even play sci-fi anymore. They play like wrestling, right? I don't even know. I mean, I know they have that Alan Tudyk show, Resident Alien, so they're trying to make a comeback on Sci-Fi, but yeah, this one. I mean, it's not going well. I'm not inking it first, so I'm doing a faster technique where I'm just going to do some basic marker on this paper. I think the Phantom one took longer because it wasn't on colored paper, so I had to like push the tones further. And plus, there's this technique with there's the color pencil technique, which I did off camera last night. Um, so so yeah, I mean, this will the Jedi Temple Guard will go quicker, but I'll put a few more layers of color marker on it, and then I'll start to do the final technique. So yeah, this one's definitely going to go faster. Cool. Alright, well, I think I'm going to probably... I still have to do the lightsaber, but I think I'll probably take a break for tonight, and I'll try to come back on tomorrow night. If not tomorrow, maybe Sunday night. I have to work on... I also have to work on my Iron Man painting, so I have to do that off camera. So yeah, juggling a lot of projects, and I got Mandalorian sketch cards coming in a few days, and then I've got maybe some Star Wars posters for a licensor. So we'll see. I got to talk to them here this week and see if those fit into my. I mean, I'll make them fit in my schedule. It just depends if they give me the assignments, if the concepts get approved. So yeah, lots of stuff coming up, and hopefully I can stay in business while shows are still not a thing. Just keep doing the freelance and keep doing the commissions. I'll come back to this one and finish it up. And if anybody wants a commission, feel free to contact me. All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Britt. Thanks for chatting and keeping me company. I appreciate it. Thank you. For my messy Mandalorian shirt. Sorry. Cool. Good night, guys. I'll jump back on here. I'll try to jump back on tomorrow. If not, I'll aim for Sunday. All right. Thanks, everyone.